Peace, royal family, and thank you all for tuning in to another edition of the original histories of Africa and migrations of the ancient world. I am your King and Royal Majesty, Pharaoh Mitzrayim, historian, geographer, and the voice of truth. And today I will be revealing the truth on the subject, Israel is not in Africa according to real history, but Egypt is in Africa. But before we get started, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Let us now begin our journey to truth. Concerning the belief that Israel is located in Africa because it sits on the African tectonic plate is a false belief that's not supported by history or geography. And the idea of a tectonic plate is nothing more than a theory that started in 1965 by a man named Tuzo Wilson. But truth is, the word Africa has absolutely nothing to do with a tectonic plate. But the word Africa is a 2,000-year-old Roman Latin word that applies to the borders of a vast continent that starts from the Nile River of Egypt and Ethiopia. And to find out about the borders of Africa, we must go to the oldest original source to ever mention the word Africa, and the first source to give a geography of Africa. And that source is found here in Pliny the Elder, Natural History, 1st century AD, Book 5, Chapter 1, and it says in quote, "The Greeks have given the name of Libya to Africa, and have called the sea that lies in front of it the Libyan Sea. It has Egypt for its boundary." According to the text we just read, Pliny the Elder states that the word Africa was the new name for the older Greek word Libya. And Pliny makes it very clear that Africa and Libya was one and the same. And Pliny also states that Africa is bounded by Egypt, not bounded by Israel or Syria. But the question is, what was the borders for the older Greek word Libya? Let us continue. To find out where the borders of Libya began, we must go here to Herodotus the Histories, Book 4, Chapter 41, 450 BCE, and it says in quotes, "Such is Asia, and such its extent, but Libya is on the second peninsula, for Libya comes next after Egypt." Herodotus, in his own words, stated, "The borders of Libya or Africa came after Egypt, and the border of Libya started from Egypt, not Israel or Syria, but after Egypt." Let us continue. Let us now return to Pliny the Elder and focus on Africa. And Pliny has more to say on the borders of Africa, and it is found here in Pliny the Elder, Natural History, Book 5, Chapter 9, and it says in quote, "Egypt is the country which lies next to Africa. In the interior, it runs in a southerly direction as far as the territory of the Ethiopians. On the side of Africa are the two nomes of the Oasites, or oases." As we just read, Pliny the Elder states that Africa was next to Egypt, and this proves that the borders of Africa started from Egypt, not from Israel. And Pliny also states that the oasis region of Egypt was located on the side of Africa, or on the African side of Egypt, and the African side of Egypt is referring to the west side of Egypt, or west of the Nile River. And Israel is not located anywhere in this region, and this has absolutely nothing to do with Israel. But let's continue. Let us now turn our attention to the modern day maps of Africa and Asia. And as we can see on the modern day map of Africa, Israel is not included. But when we look on the modern day map of Asia, Israel is included. And why is this? Because the modern day map makers was going by what the ancient writers said about the borders of Africa and Asia and told the truth. And this goes to show, even according to the modern day maps, Israel is not in Africa, but Israel is in West Asia. And on this, I conclude. So there it is. When the source is brought forth, the truth comes out. And when the source is present, the truth cannot be denied. And truth is, Africa or Libya is bounded on the east by the Nile River and bounded on the west by the Atlantic Ocean. And the border of Africa starts from Egypt in the Nile River. And in order for Israel to be located in Africa, Israel will have to be located west of the Nile River, or at least along the Nile River. But the truth is, Israel is not located on the Nile River, but Israel is located in West Asia. So therefore, Israel is not in Africa, but Egypt is in Africa. I arrest my case.